Welcome to the Fit Femme Project Alignment Podcast. It is here that we cultivate and gather all who have been through it in fitness, relationships, careers, lifestyle changes, and unforgettable crucial life pivots trying to achieve their most sovereign selves. We're here to provide you with thought-provoking, detailed stories and information from truly fascinating men and women from all walks of life, professions, generations, and modern-day sagas who speak to their rawest, darkest moments that made them the strong, decisive, humble, helpful, healing people that they are today. We ask them to hold nothing back because life is a multi-dimensional pursuit to be stronger, healthier, and more aligned mentally, emotionally, and physically. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the FFP Alignment Podcast. We have a quietly, specially wonderful episode today. We are kind of kicking off a little bit of a series that I've had an idea for quite some time, which is our little human highlight, where we're interviewing somebody who has gone through a transformational process and has changed their life with us. Yeah, and so obviously I have Coach Lindsey with me and one of our clients. Well, technically former client, but I don't like saying that.
I don't know
Laura
that's
Haynie.
a good word. Yeah, I'm on a hiatus. Forever. I'm not a former. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll be back, right?
I will be back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to talk about kind of just Laura's before and after, really, and like the whole process, the ins and outs. So what was life for you like before joining us?
So before joining, I've always been into fitness. I've always enjoyed classes, and I found weightlifting kind of around the same time that Lindsey did, and did that. And I had started after COVID. I was kind of home for a while, and then when I came back, I did start progressive overload strength training on my own. I had bought a program, but I was not seeing results no matter what. Boot camps, everything. And I would do, you name a diet, I have done the diet. I would do fasting. I would do just everything that came out, gut cleanses, and just trying to find like what's the thing, like what's the secret. And was really inspired with Lindsey. We were already friends. I was inspired with her transformation that she had gone through, and I'm like, well, if she can do this, I can do this, because we're both about the same age. We've both got kids. We both work full time. And so I'm like, I want to know what's her secret, what she's doing. And so I reached out and scheduled my call with Christine, and the rest is history. But that's what it was like before. I've always enjoyed fitness. I'm one of those, like, I'm not going to skip the gym. It's my stress release. I love it. But the food is the real challenge in figuring out like what I need to eat to fuel my body and feel my best. And that's where Lindsey's kind of stepped in.
Well, what was your I have two questions. So as far as what you were expecting, as far as like results, how did you define that for you? Like, what were you expecting?
Honestly, like, I want to look really good in a bikini, and I want to look good in clothes. And I came in with a very much aesthetic mindset of, I'm tired of this mom belly, this mom pooch. And honestly, initially, that's what it was. It was aesthetics. And yes, I want to feel good, and I want to be able to keep up with. I have an 8-year-old, but a lot of it was like, I love clothes. And that's a big driver for me.
We are so like, alike.
I want to look cute in my clothes, and that's
I want to wear them all.
Yeah. And then too, I felt like my confidence was suffering in like relationships and how I showed up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not showing up as my full self because I'm not feeling very confident, and a lot of that still was the aesthetics. And so I'm like, I want to get, it was that mindset. If I look this way, I'll love myself more, or I'll like myself more. And that was really the initial thought.
How with that, as far as like, if I look like this, then I'll like myself. Did that become true for you, or was it a different process and accepting yourself more and having that confidence outside of the way you look?
I think it's different. My confidence is in a different way. I mean, I'm still not to my aesthetic goals, but I am really strong and I am really capable, and I've found different ways to love myself. And yes, I still think I look cute in my clothes, but like my mindset has changed to what I thought was going to make me feel good to what actually makes me feel good. And that's, I've always liked to get a lot of sleep too. So it's like, I can't say I've changed like my sleep habits or my exercise habits. That was already there. But just changing how I show up for myself and for other people. Showing myself that I can do harder things. You know, I can get up in the morning and walk when it's still dark out, and just being able to show myself that I can meet challenges, I guess.
I'm not walking in the dark in you. I will not do that. If Lindsey says, KateLynn, I need you to get up before the sun rises, I quit.
But honestly, KateLynn,
I'm just kidding.
When you have kids, you gotta find it.
I was fixing to say, it's like why would I say that? Just being a weirdo. Like, it's not necessary for you.
It's not what I want to do.
Right.
No, I thought that. I was like, I know this would be much different if I had children, but we're not there.
It is, but it's not like a bad different like people think it is. It's just a different drive, a different motivation. Yeah. Totally.
And you have to find the time. You have to make the time.
That's it. That's the word, because we didn't get, we didn't get more hours when we had kids. Like, it's not like you pop out a baby and God's like, and here is 3 more hours in your day because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Aw. So what was like, you already had, from what you said, you already had the discipline of working out and stuff like that. The movement was already in the sleep. Obviously, that's just as important. You had a couple of things already honed in, if you will. What was the biggest hurdle for you then?
The biggest hurdle was Lindsey not letting me cut calories as much. I wasn't getting to drop the weight as fast as I wanted. And I think that's probably a lot of people's frustrations. They're like, I'm ready to go. Let's cut, And I've learned, if I go under 1,700 calories, I am not okay. I am not happy. So my goal is, how can I get my maintenance calories up so that if I do need to cut some body weight, it's not so uncomfortable. But that was, to say that took time. It took me probably a good year or more to get that mindset of,
wow, yeah,
when can I cut? When can I cut? When can I cut? That's hard to be. It's that instant gratification that you have to be like, it's not time. It's not time. I have work to do before my body can do that sustainably and comfortably.
Lindsey, how was it like from a coaching perspective? I know you guys are friends, but which probably makes a difference
life too. And I've known her for.
We'll still be friends no matter what she says.
Okay, all
right, let's hear it.
Better. No, well, we've been friends for 10 years, a long time. And we're just, like she said, we have a lot of similarities. And I don't know that this is an appropriate coach thing to say, but from experience, not in the way that I thought, like Laura said, but I did it. Getting the aesthetic that I want did make me happier. Because that's what I wanted. And I had wanted it for a really long time and had not been able to achieve it. But it wasn't just because I could fit in a certain size of clothes or I looked a certain way. What made me happier, well, I did like the way I looked. I did. And I'm not sorry. I'm still not sorry. But also the habits, the discipline, the work for the mindset changes that go into that change that's hard and takes a really long time. And not trying to find the thing, like Laura was talking about, the one thing that's going to be for you, that's going to just effortlessly and easily propel you into this new body. That's never going to happen. Letting go of that's hard. Letting go of that hope that you're going to find your Oprah aha moment, that's not real unless you're a billionaire, that you are going to have to address the root cause and not the symptoms for once. So the symptom is maybe excess body fat. That mom belly we both had struggled with for years. That spare tire, not liking how we looked in clothes and not being self-conscious instead of fully being able to show up places because we're trying to hide a certain area or cut and wear what we wanted to wear, whatever. Those are symptoms. Where the root cause is what? It's your habits and your behavior. Having to address that is not that, let's go.
Yeah.
Right? So when you get like really like what Casey would say is granular and step back from the excitement and the hope and say, you know what? Nothing's going to change until I change. And not the change of, I'm going to work out. We're already working out. We've always worked out. We worked out together a lot of that time, like group classes, CrossFit, different things. I used to teach a class. This is so funny to me now. I used to teach a class called Cardio Sculpt.
Sounds like it's false advertising.
It was so hard. It was so hard, but it wasn't very effective. Anywho, skis, moving on. Like address like, these are my thought patterns around who I am as a person. This is my belief in what having fun looks like. It has to have these elements or I'm not having fun. I'm either dieting or I'm living a happy life. You got to pick. Which one are we doing? Like really addressing what I defined as a good life, a successful life, a full life. That was the work for me. Not if I was taking a fat burner or drinking a greens or doing a colon cleanse. Like none of that. That wasn't it. It was all that tedious, not cool, not cute, day-to-day mindset. Because I had, like Laura, I had gained and lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds here and there through just taking things out or like living in a way that was never going to be sustainable, but I didn't care at the time. I just wanted to be skinnier and wanting to be better than that. And then when you have kids too, like Laura was talking about when she goes under 1,700 calories, you can say all day long, I don't care. I'll do whatever to get to this point that I want to be. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it freaking does. When you cannot peel your ass off the couch to help your kid find pajamas, like you're just literally surviving, it matters a lot. And then here comes mom guilt. And then that spirals into feeling emotional and like a failure. And then you fall back into your old habit. Rinse and repeat, dude, over and over and over. And like she said, just like having enough time. Even going back to like when your kids are little, you can't, in these like programs that are like 6 times a week, cardio sculpt, or just like all this cardio and hit and training, push, meal plan. That when you add up the calories, it's like 1,100 total calories. And moms are signing up for this because they're desperate when they have a child that's still waking up in the night and feeding every 3 or 4 hours. And this,
Yeah.
just seeing myself in other women and having knowledge and education and experience, being like, I know better than this. It's literally my responsibility to do better. And buckling down and like that mindset. And I tell my clients this all the time. KateLynn has heard it too many times about weekends. But let's F around and find out. Maybe your life is going to be miserable if you stick to your nutrition on the weekends. Maybe it'll be the worst weekend of your life, and you'll spend every day ruminating and regretting that weekend that you didn't drink 2 bottles of wine, eat a whole pizza, cinnamon rolls for breakfast, a 12-inch sub for lunch. Like,
Yes.
let's play devil's advocate. It's going to be wasted life on earth. Let's do it anyway. Let's do it anyway, and let's make decisions based on knowledge. And then see, was it worth it? Did it ruin your life to stick to your macros, or did you get through that moment, feel proud of yourself, still eat some tasty food, and move on with pride and accomplishment? It's a different way of thinking. And for me now, it's like I don't even identify fun the same way anymore. It has nothing to do really with what I'm eating or how much, or if I'm going completely hedonistic. Getting rid of all of that is like my identification of a good weekend or a great dinner out or fun with a group. But it takes like she said, it takes so much time and continued effort. Just effort, just that steady burn. We were talking about, me and Case were talking about this the other day. What people underestimate is how much harder it is to keep a slow burning tempo. Nothing, no big high highs, no low lows, just this tempo, right? You don't get that adrenaline rush. You don't get that boost, that hit. You just have to keep it just a low, slow little burn. That is difficult to do something uncomfortable for a long period of time.
So I wanted to say, so I just did, let's see, I was with the Fit Them for 2 years, and I just took a brief hiatus to address some financial stuff that's ultimately going to have my stress down and just bigger picture ready to roll.
You're such a good grown-up, Laura.
But, let me ask you, KateLynn, if you were having to take a break, would you do it in a maintenance, a build, or a deficit? Like, what would you think would be the easiest if you had to do it without coaching? Maintenance. So I thought I was due for a deficit, and I was like, oh, this will be the easiest time to be without a coach, because I'll be like, oh, yeah. And it was at the holidays too. So it was a poor decision, but anyway, I learned some stuff, and so one of the things that I did is, unlike both of you, I am a freak in the spreadsheets. I love an Excel spreadsheet.
You should come work for us.
I love Excel. Yeah, Casey, hire me. I love Excel. Yeah. I'm so good at it. So, I mean, I could tell, like with my bank account, I can tell you on October 15th how much money is going to be in my bank account. It's just like projected out. Wow. But anyway, so I planned my deficit. I know, yeah. Totally. I am a math Excel dork. So I planned out my deficit. That's probably mistake number 1, is planning when I'm going to take these cuts instead of like taking the body feedback. But I was like, well, this will take the emotion out of it. Okay, I've got my plan. Yeah. So I was taking my emotion out of it, and Lindsey had coached me a little ahead of time what to do. And so I'm finding myself through the holidays, I'm like, I'm not being super adherent, okay? But my spreadsheet says I'm going to cut a little more. So instead of saying, let me get myself adherent and see how it goes, I'm like, well, the spreadsheet says I'm going to cut right here, so I'm going to cut right here. And then if I'm not super adherent, if I'm having those VLTs, then at least I'll still be in a deficit. Well, that's not how it works. Like, I needed to take a step back and be like, I need to be adherent here before I consider cutting anymore. And that's really what I've learned so much about myself is like, if I get under a certain calorie threshold, I am not super adherent, and my hunger hormones are like out of this world. I'm starving, and it's just not going to go well. Like, it's better to have a higher calorie range where I'm comfortable enough and I'm tracking honestly and consistently, where I don't feel like on the weekends I've got to go, eat whatever, or having a high enough calorie range kind of takes out that need to like binge or have like a fun time by the cheat
Yeah,
meal
like
or
it
whatever
literally
it is.
does, for
It
sure.
does. And so I caught myself and I'm like, okay, I'm not going down the right path. Lindsay would be so ashamed of this. And so
I would never be ashamed, but I would tell you to stop that.
immediately I increased my protein 10 grams because I was like, I'm too hungry. I need more
Yes,
protein.
I'm too hungry.
And then and now I'm pulling out up toward a maintenance right now, and I'm just so much happier and things are going better. And but it was an interesting lesson, and I think a good one to learn to like, okay, here's what happened when I did it on my own. Here's what tools I know Lindsay has taught me, and I can't wait to get back and learn some more tools.
Oh, I can't wait. But I mean, Tuesdays are never the same. Literally, you were a client for so long. Every Tuesday, I miss that check-in.
Me too.
Not one Tuesday has not gone by where I've not been like, Laura, there's no Laura check-in. And I mean, it's not like, I'm freaking out, but it's very noticeable when a long-term client is just, there's a hole, especially someone that was really involved and invested. But one thing I will say about being a competitive, like competing as a bodybuilder, and being a lifestyle coach is I learned a lot from competing that has changed how I coach people. And one of the things, and like Laura was kind of talking about my coaching style, is finding out someone's maintenance. That is going to tell you a lot about their threshold for compliance in real life. People want to gloss over that. They want to tell themselves they are different. They will do anything in the world. They'll cut off an arm. They don't care. And you probably would cut off an arm. But you will not stay hungry for months for no good reason other than I want to look better in these jeans. But the thing that changed the way I coach and how long I will keep a client in a deficit, depending on how much of a deficit it is for them, was getting to an extreme level of leanness where I was dieting for 4 months and knowing exactly the hormonal and mental response that I experienced. And with my years of experience, and I mean, having literal skin in the game, like rhinestone, thong bikini, on a stage, that kind of skin in the game, right? It's hard. It's extremely hard, especially, and then I think the bigger lesson was getting off stage. And then you're back to basically lifestyle, right? I'm not competing. I'm coming out of a deficit and holding control over that. When your hormones were unbalanced, like your ghrelin and your leptin, and God knows what all else, I would not test my hormones right after competing. I would not want to know what that was like. And just dealing with that like little shot of reality for me is very valuable for my clients in long-term success and overall health and sustainability, like being able to all of the practice in years and years, because I've been doing this since probably 2020. So years of practice being adherent with macros and workouts and cardio and just performing reps, thousands and thousands and thousands of reps in this, and how hard the struggle was to be adherent when you're in a deficit, a severe deficit for an extended period of time. It's changed me. Like I won't cut someone's calories ridiculous. I don't care if they are getting married in a month and they need to lose 10 pounds. I'm not going to do that to you. There's no reason. I don't like challenges anymore. These challenges where people are racing to lose the most amount of weight in a certain period of time. There's just ways that are different. And I use what I've learned, because look, if there is a population of people and you're like, what I want to know how to do is be really fit and be lean enough to where you can see my muscles. Who would I ask how to do that? Bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So I take everything that I've learned from Casey, from other like clients on the team, and mainly my own personal experience, and I integrate that into how I coach lifestyle. And that's probably my biggest change, like as a coach. And Laura is a big testament to that. Like it's great. Like, yes, I hear you. I would have taken a knife to my muffin top on some days. I was just so sick of wearing it. But how to actually get rid of it doesn't look like the way we're conditioned to think it does.
Laura, for you during that 2-year process, what if, kind of circling back to what we were talking about earlier about the habits that you didn't realize were holding you back and weren't serving you properly, what were those for you as far as like a habit of going to bed at this time or drinking something? Like, what was that like for you?
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I'm not
Toot it.
I am not a big drinker. I love
Yeah.
to work out. I've done it as early as I could drive a car. I was at the gym for fun.
Wow.
I go to bed. I have good gut health. I do all the things. The food is that's my habit. Is I love carbs and I love fat.
Yeah.
And I love them together. And I have a child and I got a lot of kid food in the house. And
Yep.
I'm a hungry girl. And like, if I restrict myself too much, it's going to in turn, I'll have cheat meals or whatever, or I'll get home and be like starving as I'm cooking dinner and like, I'm going to eat some of his popcorn or something.
Yes.
Like, it's really the food is the main mindset. And maybe too, being more like, more appreciative of the outdoors. If I can walk outside, I enjoy that. I don't even care the weather, hot, cold, it doesn't matter. I can't do that a lot because my child is so young. I can't like leave him home alone. But if I'm able to be outside, I love it. I do think there's a lot to it, to being in nature, and then the food, really tracking and keeping myself accountable. And I'm a people pleaser. I'm a type 9, and so a big part for me, and it's just how I was raised too, to be like a pleaser, make my parents happy. And so that's been a big struggle for me in these past few months, is like, I don't have Lindsey, even though Lindsey is so kind and would never like berate me or anything. It's like, I don't have an accountability person. I'm only accountable to myself. And that's really what I'm trying to figure out and work through right now, is like, how do I have that personal accountability? And it's not about pleasing anyone else. It's about pleasing myself. And that's been really something that I'm currently, trying to figure out, is like, when I don't have a coach, when I'm not checking in, when I'm not sending numbers, when I'm not sending measurements, when I'm not sending pictures, how do I make Laura happy? And how am I doing what, it's not checking a box of someone else. It's for me. And so that's the habit that I'm trying to develop currently.
So as far as your
are you still planning? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to coach her. You go ahead.
Yes. Free coaching.
No, wait, you like put a pin in that, because I do want to ask kind of more specifically, like, what your eating habit, like, since that was the biggest hurdle for you, what was your eating habits like prior versus while you were being coached? Were you an emotional eater? Like what was it? Put us in your life.
Well, I'm not, to my knowledge, I'm not an emotional eater, and I'm not like a binge. Like I've heard a previous coach talk about like eating loaves of bread. It's nothing like that. It's like, I'm gonna snack on these chips while I'm cooking.
A bored eater.
Yeah, like yeah.
I'm a
especially,
bored
like,
eater.
during
Yeah.
COVID,
Mindless eater. Yes,
especially like during
eater.
COVID, it's like, oh well, I go to the pantry 100 times and just look around. Like, is there anything I feel like eating?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm a pantry person too. Like,
Yeah.
get out
Yeah.
of here! Like, why are you in here?
I
Like, did you
know.
levitate? How did you get here?
I love snacks. And snacks add up, but unfortunately.
Yeah.
But and I'll go out some, but mostly I eat at home. But yeah, bored eater. That's a great term.
Yeah, because
And
it does
what-
taste good. And I think that is a big, for me, it was like, and Laura, we've talked about this a long time ago. I don't even know if you remember. But when you try different diets like Sugar Busters or eating paleo, part of that is trying to like mind mess yourself, right? Where you're like, sugar is poison. This is poison. I hate it. I wouldn't drink gasoline. Why would I drink this? Carbs are evil. Carbs are the reason for the obesity epidemic. And like, you're trying to convince yourself of things, right? So that you don't struggle with wanting to eat them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. And I still think sugar is addictive. I still think like, I think you can definitely have those cravings. And I do know from doing those kind of more extreme things before that it is a good way to cut cravings when you're like getting out of control. But the hope is to be able to control those cravings without having to do extreme measures,
I agree with that. That's the gold standard.
Yeah. So it's like, how can I, like, for example, I love Rice Krispie treats. I love them.
Yeah, those are good.
I can't make a pan of Rice Krispie treats because I can't stop. I can't have a Rice Krispie treat and stop.
That's a good one. I love Rice Krispie treats.
They're so good.
So
Sugar and butter. Oh.
And so,
crispy, chewy.
Yeah, they're so good. And so I'll buy like the home style Rice Krispie that's like a single pack. And it's like, okay, I can control this. So one day I would love that I could be able to make a whole pan of Rice Krispie treats and just eat a Rice Krispie treat, but I'm not there yet. I also don't want to cut out all sugar. That's not going to get me there. That's not going to help me learn a new behavior. And so, I want to learn to eat carbs and eat sugar and eat fats in moderation with my plan, and not go to an extreme measure to cut out those things, because ultimately that's not teaching me to control that behavior.
Right. And you get into a deal too that I found with like, because I even was like, I've got to, and y'all know this about me. I love sweets so much, the carbs and the fat and salty stuff too, but sweets is really where it's at for me. And so I want people to plan their days out. Y'all know this all too well. I want you to plan your day out, not just so I can look at your stuff and be like, good, you did what I asked you to do, but because it allows you to be able to say, man, I really want a Rice Krispie treat today, but it's not in my plan. Good to know that I'm wanting a Rice Krispie treat. And practice discipline and delaying an impulse. Put it in tomorrow, right? But stick to your plan. Discipline and control of impulse decisions is a huge reason why I am such a fan of planning your whole day out, because you've already made your plan. Your job is execution. That is so much more streamlined than, well, I haven't planned my dinner. I was going to have this, but if I put in a Rice Krispie treat and I took out some rice and I didn't use, no, right? And now, the tail's wagging the dog. The impulse is controlling good decisions. So when you practice that planning out of your day, even when you're not with a coach, even when you're really good at macros, plan it out anyway as part of your morning routine. And then when those impulses hit and you want something, you can come from it from a place of not like scarcity mindset, not, but if I could, like, no, this is not a judgment. This is an observation. I'm in the mood for a Rice Krispie treat. I'm definitely going to put that in my snack tomorrow instead of my, let's try to replace it with some yogurt and apples or like whatever it is. And then just go forth. And maybe you eat the Rice Krispie treat the next day and you're like, no, that was not nearly as good as my yogurt and my Honey Crisp apple, right? And you just kind of like make yourself delay the instant gratification, that lesson that is valuable no matter what. And then you move forward. So if you're not still planning out your day, you have to still do that.
Yeah. I do plan out my day. Now, if it's like a day, like I haven't put in today's, I know what I'm eating. It's what I ate yesterday. So it's like,
yeah.
But
Copy and
usually,
paste, that's right.
Yeah. I think I put my breakfast in for the week. But
Nice.
I eat the same, like breakfast, morning snack, and afternoon snack is the same every single day. I eat 6 times a day. My lunch, I'll usually put in the morning, and then I know about what I have for dinner. And so I'll either, if I don't have time to put it in the morning, I'll put it in when I go at lunch. But I thought I would really hate planning my day, and I really do like it. It's given so much freedom to the snacks, or figuring out what I can fit in there. And I
Why
thought
did
that
you
was a
think you
behavior
would
I would
hate
hate.
it?
I don't like planning. I don't like
Wait,
commitment.
that sounds backwards. You just said how much you have your everything else planned out till October.
I have my spreadsheets. Yeah.
Your spreadsheets planned out,
Yeah.
which makes you sound like a planner.
I
But
know.
But there's a lot of people like that. It's something about, and I'm going to tell you what it always is.
Yeah.
You do the same thing, KateLynn.
What?
It's dinner. You don't want to plan your dang dinners. Like I'll look in like, it's my people that plan, like
I do that.
60% of them will have everything planned but dinner. And it's this weird block that people have about not wanting to commit. They're like, well, I got to see what the family wants to eat. I'm not sure because
I'll
we
do
have
that
this
on
practice.
the weekends. I'll admit. But during the week, that's the first thing I put in because it's the
Is
highest calorie. Yeah. Because I already know what I'm eating for dinner. I just got to put it in because it's going to be like 600-700 calories because I love a good dinner. But it's the weekends when we're like, yeah, let's hang out. I don't know what we're going to do. And even if I try to like solidify something, I'm like, where are we eating? Let me look at the menu.
Yes, that's me too. I'm like, no, pick a place. That's the only thing I'm asking you to do. I'll go. Just pick a place. But it's some weird thing with dinner, and like it just allows for you to lose kind of like focus. Because I'm telling you, especially like with like since I've been a mom, my mental energy and ability to really make good, solid decisions is this through the day. You know what I'm saying? And so like, even like sometimes when I've had dinner planned out, I've been like, but I would have to fix that. It's probably about the same macros if I XYZ ate a Rice Krispie treat and a wad of turkey or whatever it is. But I'm telling you, it's something about like planning out. And when you feel resistance to anything like that, and just like be like, wonder why I won't put in my freaking dinner, like just little things like that, like especially for someone starting out, because you're going to feel resistance in a lot of ways that you may not even expect. Like you can love working out and have a day in your program that you're like, I hate this day. Like it can be because there's Bulgarian split squats. It could be because there's a movement you're embarrassed to do in public, like hip thrusts or, whatever else is in there. But it's just, there's going to be something. And if you will like not ostrich it, not just stick your head in the sand and be like, oh yeah, but that's not me. That's just not how I operate. Or just come at yourself like berating, like, just do it, you piece of crap. God. None of those things. Just be like, you know what? I'm feeling resistance towards this. Maybe I hate it. Maybe it will ruin my life. But I'm going to find out through experience and not like fear or avoidance.
Yeah, Laura, I did want to ask about, you being a mom, single mom, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
that's so rude. Okay. The balance with that and the process that you went through with us and being coached, were there any like kind of hurdles in that direction with having to change your lifestyle while also being like a mom and catering to a child?
I mean, yes and no. So after I had Max, before him, I was doing CrossFit, and that was 5:30 p.m. That was my workout time. And so really just before Fit Fem, after having him, I had to change my workout time. So I'm a lunch workout. I come to the gym at lunch. It's across. I'm at the gym now. My office is right over there, so it's across the street. And I'm like, I'm gonna find the closest gym, and that's where I have to become a lunch worker outer. So I started doing that years and years ago, and I love the lunchtime workouts. My favorite. I even do it on the weekends. It's the best time.
I agree.
What I had to add was, because my weightlifting sessions are a little bit longer, they're 45 minutes or so, and I have to shower. The cardio became, which we don't have a lot of cardio, 20, 25 minutes, but I had to find another time of day to do that because it can't fit at lunch. And so that really became having to wake up in the morning or having to do it after dinner. And so that's been an adjustment, is finding when I'm going to do that. It is hard to wake up in the morning. I don't like it. I feel good once I've done it, but I don't like getting out of bed.
Nobody does.
That's been hard.
Did you suffer from, that sounds awful. Did you suffer?
Suffer.
But did you
suffering?
Did you like experience like any mom guilt during this process? No, yeah. How has this transformation for you impacted your son's life? How has it been different for him in a positive way, obviously?
He has to come to the gym with me on the weekend, so he doesn't just love that, but sometimes he's like, I want to work out too. So I think him seeing me work out, and it's never been, I'm trying to get thin. It's always been like, your mom is so strong, and he loves that his mom is so strong. I can lift him. He's 85 pounds, and he still wants me to pick. He's 85 pounds, yeah. He wants me to pick him up, and like, if that boy wants me to pick him up, I'm gonna be able to pick him up. And so
He's tall.
He's very tall. He's yeah, and So I think for him, seeing that I exercise to be strong and healthy and not any other reason is inspiring to him. And then he'll like he can't be on any equipment. Obviously that's not safe while I'm at the gym, but like when I get done, if there's not many people there, I'll let him do some things. So he loves being able to show what he can do, or doing like a family competition or something like that.
Oh, that's so
cute. Cute and so cool. Like for him to see a mom, and this is what I love, is for a kid to see a mom, like see it. Not hear mom being like, oh, I really need to work out. Oh, I'm too fat. Oh, I can't have that. No, I'm not eating sugar this. Like, none of that. None of that weirdness that so many people have in the back of their heads that they grew up with. Having a mom being like, yeah, I just really need to eat my protein. You need to eat your protein. We're working out. I got a back squat PR.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that shift for kids. Like, it's basically giving them the gift of not having something weird to get over later.
Yeah. They'll have other weird stuff, but it's not
They'll
that
have other weird stuff, but hopefully not a distorted body image or what their definition of health is.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask on like the food side of it. How has your language changed with him and impacted him with how you eat or how you talk about food, like in that area?
It's really what Lindsay just said. Like we're eating protein because it helps us build muscles, and he got into a kick the other week with wanting to eat protein bars because he finally got his head. This is going to help me build muscles. He was like, I want a protein bar. No more dessert. I want protein bars. That lasted like a day, maybe.
Damn it.
He was like, I'm never eating sugar again because protein gives me muscles. So I'm like, yeah, all right, but.
Yeah, same. Okay.
Yeah. Balanced child, balance. But but he is a child who hates meat, and so finding protein, he would live on yogurt and fruit, which is lovely, but it's like we got to get some protein in there too. So, just talking about what's going to make us healthy, what's going to make us feel good, and not, we're throwing out all the candy in the house. We're not doing that.
No.
We're just planning it.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, I think, but Charlie also does not like meat. I don't know if it's a texture or flavor thing. It's not like she like says, I don't like meat, but we'll pick it out of dishes and stuff. And so that conversation is at our house too, of like, because Charlie is small. And my other daughter was small too. I'm not worried about it like I was with the first one because I already saw that everything washes out once they hit like a later growth spurt. But I'm always telling her, to grow muscles. And I almost texted you this the other day because I was like, you need to eat protein to grow well, to grow these muscles. You want to play tennis, you want to hit that ball hard, you're going to have to act like it, not just say it. And she's like, I do, but I also love being small because I can still hide in cabinets.
I mean, touche.
I guess, but like I wouldn't alter my, dietary choices just to be able to hide during hide and seek in cabinets.
That's so cute. Sorry.
Bless you.
No, it was a cough. Sorry, I should have muted myself, but
it's okay.
Anyway. But yeah, so Laura, what would be like your biggest takeaway from your experience with us?
I would say my biggest takeaway is to throw away a timeline on your health, because your health is forever. Your body
Amen.
is forever.
Amen.
And you're not doing yourself any favor by rushing through something, or like, there's not an end goal. I hate to say it. There's not an end goal. Like, you could be on stage in a bikini and you're still trying to improve something. So like, having a mindset of continual improvement is a blessing. So just take the stress off of yourself and be like, I'm always going to be trying to improve, and just take that timeline off of everything.
Aww. So since we have Lindsay on the phone, this is your chance to ask her stuff and be coached right now.
Yeah. Well, you were going to coach me something earlier. I can't think what it was.
Talking about like not being adherent while you were in a cut, and that's, if you are not adherent, and it's like, for me, my kind of guideline is like about 2 weeks of multiple days of non-adherence. We're not in a cut anymore. We weren't anyway. Like, you weren't in a cut anyway. And so your goal, just again, like, not like, oh, you suck, you can't do this because you're weak and you don't want it back. Like, stop. Like, it's biofeedback. Even that behavior is biofeedback. It is. It's not a lack of anything, especially for someone that has been very disciplined and regimented when needed. That's biofeedback. Come out of the deficit. Add 300 calories a day and watch your compliance fall instantly into place. And you still are probably overall consuming less than you were when you were having days. That's, I think, the hardest thing for people to recognize, is that the average, just the average, not like high, definitely not low, the average amount of calories consumed by a grown person is 3,500 calories a day. And that is the same person that would say, I don't eat that much. That person is consuming 3,500 calories a day because they don't know, they don't understand. And that's why, I mean, I don't think if we could all just like eat mindfully straight away, and that was our goal, was mindfulness, and become healthier and hit our like physique goals, that would be freaking fantastic. But the way we are set up with food choices is not conducive to that. And there's a whole lot of people that are like, tracking is not healthy. Tracking is necessary when you have the food choices and the availability, the foods that are readily available and affordable for a lot of people. We need to track. We need to track to become, if anything, to become aware. So just kind of like taking like some blame off yourself and being like, yes, this food it's engineered for me to want it more than a healthier choice. It's not me. That's what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose. It's highly, highly more palatable than anything you would find in nature. It is less expensive than if I were to go to a place and make a salad. Your salad going to be $20. Your meal at a fast food restaurant is going to be less than half that. So I just think getting into that point where you're like, I don't want to track my food forever. This does not sound like a good life for me. But we can gripe about the American diet and beg the Kraft mac and cheese people to take out that whatever, that orange color. We can do it all day long, but it ain't going to change your muffin top. You're going to have to take responsibility for what you want and make it happen.
Amen.
Yeah.
When are you coming back?
Yeah. When are you coming back? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So right now I'm pulling up to maintenance. I'm going to hang at maintenance for quite some time, according to my spreadsheet. And then I'll be back probably late summer into the fall.
Are you coming to Nashville in June?
I don't know anything about that.
I haven't talked to her. She's not on our group anymore because she's not in Trainerize, but I hadn't talked to her about that. I do think it's something you would be really good at and interested in. And she's talking about herself like, I think maybe anybody listening to this or just seeing her little pretty head and not her body, she has not let anything go. Like, she looks fantastic. I just saw her at a group thing we did, as women's self-defense thing. And my older daughter was there, Bella. And Bella was trying to tell me something about she was talking about how nice she was, because Laura's very soft-spoken and Bella's not used to that. And she's like, oh, love. She's like, what's her name? She's got that little boy. She's tall with the shoulders.
Oh, nice.
It's the compliment of my life. Lindsay sent me a text. She's like, Bella said you were tall and pretty and had shoulder muscles. And I was like, she said I had.
Yes.
That's so funny. Laura, I'm curious, what, speaking of, you say you're so strong. I got to compare myself to you real quick.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Wait, no, I want to know some of you.
I wouldn't do it.
Okay, let's do it.
I want to, what are some of your numbers for like squat, deadlift, hip thrust?
About to hurt your feelings, boo.
I rarely do a 1 rep max.
No, me either.
But my current program has a 1 rep max, and I back squatted 215 yesterday, which was so amazing for me. I'm 5'9", so like squats are hard.
Okay. Got to squat for like 5 minutes total.
Yeah. And then I think my bench is, I don't know.
No, my bench is awful.
120.
Let's not talk about that.
Let's
not talk about that.
I just cracked 100. I don't do bench too often.
my goal, I always say like bread loaf arms. You know, like a French bread, it's like the lumps. I want bread loaf arms. And like
I love bread loaf arms.
I can get the pump and a workout, but I want them just like walking in tank tops. Like I want the bread loaf arms. That's my summer aesthetic goal.
I like that. I want lumpy arms.
That's hilarious.
I want fat baby arms.
I do too.
It's been hard to build upper body. It's hard to build strength. I don't put on muscle very easily, but man, it's been fun.
Yeah. No, the funny thing, like with my physique, is that I have a lot of muscle, especially like my arm. You see my arm? It
Your
doesn't look
quads,
like muscular.
your quads
Oh.
on your check-ins, dang.
Her butt
And her
is
butt,
so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about nature or gravity or any other physics. Doesn't care.
Well, back to my arms, back to me. This is an episode about Laura, but in reality, no, I am looking forward to that arm look, because like I have muscle, natural, like big muscles, but not very strong. Well, sorry, Lindsay, but like I want it to look that way. You know what I mean? So there's
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I talked on top of you again. It's hard. If there's a little bit of a delay.
That's okay. What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying your muscle is there. And
yeah,
I was with, we were out of town in Dallas. And so I had to go to Planet Fitness like I do when I'm out of town anywhere, is go to Planet Fitness. And the person I was with was like, oh, you've grown. Like you've looked really jacked. And I'm like, no, I'm smaller. I'm in competition prep. I've lost 10 pounds. It's the same muscle. It's just you can see it now.
Definitely.
Right?
Exactly.
Your muscles are there. Both of you know that. It's just like sometimes I look more jacked and sometimes I look like more blurred lines. And it has nothing to do with my muscle mass. It's,
exactly.
It's the
body
fat on top of the muscle mass.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, I was, if you gotta pick. Like, yes, I love that I look more jacked. That is so fun. But I'm at 1,700 calories, Laura. I'm at the scary place. I'm at like 1,775.
I've got some carb
read feeds.
It gets
Me, I feel good. Yeah, I feel good.
I'm up in the 1,700s now, but I was below that in the cut. So like, I'm happy now. I can adhere to this, and I'm gonna get a little higher and then just stick there for a while. But yeah, that's the goal, is to get, because your maintenance is way higher than mine. So I would love to get my maintenance up higher so that then a deficit doesn't have to be anything extreme, and it can be comfortable and I can, not that it was extreme,
and you can be flexible.
Anyway. Not that it was extreme anyway. I just like to eat.
Well, and like the ability to be flexible, because when you go to restaurants and stuff and your calories, you're in a cut and you're like, but I'm still flexible dieting, right? Yeah. Well, you are, but when your calories are low, the restaurant gobbles up
the fat grams.
All your calories, the fat grams. And you're like, well, I can eat one blade of grass and chicken before I go to dinner.
Yeah.
So that makes the dinner less enjoyable because, you've been like waiting all day for it. And then you have like this very reasonable meal. But so like, wah.
That was fun. We were talking about Rice Krispie treats earlier, and I actually have a high protein version of that.
How? Why?
Both of your faces. So the only thing I'm pretty sure is that you still have to use just marshmallows and butter. Okay. It's still going to be a treat. But on Amazon, you can get protein puffs. It's like little tiny balls of protein. They're crunchy. It's perfect. They're so good.
I have some of those. The flavor,
it's not
okay.
it.
I have seen a version of Rice Krispie treats though where they put in like strawberry protein powder, which I don't know about that, but like I would try it with a peanut butter protein powder maybe. But
here's my
rather
question.
Just have a Rice Krispie treat.
True.
Me too. And like, I don't have a problem eating my protein. So when people are like, "Oh, make it high protein,"
at least it's more
like,
balanced.
What if I didn't and ate my Rice Krispie treat and had some protein on the side, and I had this whole weird meal? Hey,
that's hilarious. Well, anyway. Thank you, Laura, for joining us and being one of our shining stars of the FFP.
That's hilarious.
That's true. You are.
It is
thanks
true.
For having me. It was fun.
You're our poster child. Well,
yes.
We're always here. Thankfully that you're always in our little inner circle. But again, thank you. And thanks for everybody for listening. Have a great week. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the FFP Alignment Podcast. Please support us by downloading, rating, and recommending us to your friends and family. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the FitFemme Project. That's FITFEMME Project. And for those of you looking to find their essential balance of lifestyle and fitness, book a free consult by going to thefitfemmeproject.com. That's FITFEMME Project.com and click Apply Now. Until next time, this is the FitFemme Project Alignment Podcast.